Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you this quick demo on how to take the Prismacolor color pencils. They are some of the best brands on the market. How to use those kind of like paint on your photorealism cards that we're doing. We'll need to use them and color match them with the prints that you're working from. And in order to do that, I'm going to show you how you can take these and blend them together, because this box of 12 that you have, this is going to be all the colors that you're really going to need for the entire project. I can mix just about any color of the rainbow using these 12 colors. Now, every table is going to get a color-coded set. You have an A set, a B set, and a C set, and you'll share those at your table with the people that are there. We do use the handheld pencil sharpeners. These can be found on my desk in the little tin. If you want, you can take them to your seat. I love them because I can just take the lid here and I can sharpen at my desk, and then at the end of the class, I'll just take this whole thing, dump it over the trash can, and I'll be good to go. Now notice I sharpened it almost to a point, but not exactly, because I don't want it to a full point, because as soon as I start using it, these are very soft, and so it is going to break if I do that. Now notice the yellow is getting kind of short. I'm going to continue using it until it is smaller than my pinky. You can see it still has a couple more sharpens to go before I use that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a little demo. I'm going to pause the tape, and then you guys are going to get to try this out a little bit at a time. All right, so here we go. I want you to take two colors. I'm just going to take a yellow and a blue, and we'll make sure that they're sharpened. And I'm going to make sure that you get one that's slightly lighter than the other. So you can take yellow and blue if you want, or you could take any two colors that you want. You could take like a light green or a dark green, or a light blue and a darker blue, but just make sure one is darker than the other. All right, turn to a clean page in your sketchbook, and we're going to do a little practice to see what these things can do. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is kind of adjust and just do a little test patch here. What I'm doing is I'm just putting a really light pencil pressure just right here towards the top with my blue. And then I want you to do this again and do a medium pencil pressure. I'm going to do this kind of medium. I can still see the color of the paper behind here. All right. And then I'm going to do a really hard, dark pressure, so much so that it completely covers the paper. It covers it up like paint. You can really see the quality of this when you do it. And then I'm going to want you to do the same thing with the yellow. So I'm going to start light pressure, then a medium pressure. It's harder to tell with the yellow because it is so light, and then a dark pressure, just like that. All right, and then I'm going to pause it. I'm going to let you guys try. All right, once you have done a light pressure, medium pressure, and dark pressure with your two sample colors that you're using, the next thing I want you to do is we're going to show you how you can take two colors and blend them together. Now, whenever I do this, I always start with the darker of the two colors first, and then I'm going to blend the lighter on top of the darker. So I'm going to start with the blue. Now, notice when I do this, I'm not actually going to start with the hardest pressure. It kind of depends on the color that I'm going for. If I want it to be more yellow than blue, then my first pressure will be kind of a lighter pressure. If I want more blue than yellow, then my first pressure would be a medium to dark pressure. Okay, not all the way dark because I still want it to blend together. Now, notice too that my first line here, when I'm blending two together, I'm still making it very even. I don't want to be very sketchy like that. I'm going to show you what happens if I try and shade and blend it together with this on top over both of these. So when I'm blending the second one top, again, the lighter one is on top, I'm going to blend in a circular motion. Notice the circular motion. I'm pushing really hard with this second layer, and it's going to blend it together. So now this blue and this yellow is going to make this light green here, and it's a light green because there's really more yellow than blue on here. And then the next one, I started with a lot more blue, and I'm going to mix the yellow on top, still in a circular motion, and it's going to blend that together, and it's going to make it more of a darker green. All right, now if I were to try and blend this one, it's still going to blend a little bit, and it's going to make it kind of green, but you can see a lot more of the white behind here. And so this is really bad craftsmanship. You want to start always with much more even tone when you're blending and you're mixing two together. All right, so everybody, I want you to try mixing two colors together now. Start with the dark one on the bottom and then the light one on the top. Go. All right, now that you've mixed your two colors together. You might want to have checked that you have a couple of different values, a light value, a dark value of those same colors, because I can mix probably about 10 different values of green with just how I adjust the pencil pressure just with these two colors. But there's more to that. Now I can add my white and my black, and I can make tints and shades just using the colors that I have here. I'm just going to do this just for time's sake with the light blue. And I'm going to mix my white and my black with that. Now you're going to make sure you have a sharpened pencil, and you're going to make sure that you can share with the person next to you. You may have to start with the black or start with the white. Either way, it's fine. Now whenever I mix two colors together, all right, I'm always going to start with the lighter of the two colors. So if I'm making tints, which is the color plus white, I'm always going to start with the blue and not the white. So I'm starting with the blue. I'm going to do 3 different values, just like I did up here. I'm going to start super, super light, almost like barely there version of this blue. And again, I can make like 10 different versions of this just by how hard I push with my pencil pressure. That's a kind of a lighter medium than here. It's a darker medium. And then I'll just go ahead and push like all the way so you can see the difference there. Then just like I did when I mixed these two together, I'm going to blend the white on the top. Again, circular motion, nice and even. Mixing this. You can see when I do it with the harder pressure, it's a little bit darker and then darker still. So now you can see I've got 4 different values of the blue mixing with the white, all right? And then again, I'll still have my original blue, which is this. So now I have 5 different tints of blue just mixing these two together, all right? So you have to adjust yours depending on what you're looking at with your paper that you're looking at. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the black, and I'm going to make shades, because whenever you mix a color with black, it makes shades. So whenever I start, I'm going to start with the darker one. My darker one of the two is going to be the black. So instead of starting with the blue, this time I'm starting with the black. And I'm going to still start and adjust my pencil pressure. I'm going to start super, super light. I could have even started lighter than this. I'm just going to do this. Medium pressure, and then a dark pressure. And then what the heck, I'll do a really, really dark pressure, just so you can see that I can still mix on top, but this is going to kind of take over. Now I'm going to color a lot harder with the blue back on top, no matter which one I'm layering over. And you can see this one is very similar to this one because very little of the black is coming through. This one I can still see it's muting that. It's making it slightly darker. This one's darker still. And this one you can barely tell that it's blue. All right, it's just a little bit of blue on top of that black. It's mostly black there. All right, so again, I'm getting these. Now, the only other thing that I would definitely practice is that you can practice blending these colors together. So maybe I wanted to mix blue plus black and white, or maybe I wanted to mix like a blue-green that's like a brownish Tiffany blue, where I could start with my blue. I could add, if I'm adding more colors together, then each time I'm not going to do the harder layer of that color. If I got 2 green, I can layer back over it with the blue. And if it's one of those Tiffany blues, just mix, it's slightly muted, so I can mix a little bit of brown in here. All right. A lot of colors are going to be muted. They're not going to be like straight out of the tube color. So brown is a great way to do that. And then it's still very light, so I'm going to blend this white back on top. And now you can see I've kind of got a muted bluish green. It's very similar to that Tiffany blue that I've got. Now, if I'm trying to look at a color and trying to do a color match, I will always have that little patch of what I'm trying to blend here with me so that I can see, is it close, is it not? I'm going to test first in my sketchbook before I blend it on my paper, on my card especially. If I make a mistake after I do this, I can continue. If I am like, oh, I need it to be a little bit more blue, I can add a little bit more blue. I can add a little bit more green. I can still continue to layer whichever on top to make it the color go towards the color that I want. So again, this is great. I want you to be able to test all of these things and then start testing the colors that you're going to be making on in your sketchbook, and you're always going to test in your sketchbook every single time you're making a new color before you work on the card. All right, if you have questions, I'll be here.